Welcome back to Dion Talk. A friend sent me, well, actually, a couple friends sent me an article from AARP. And I think the question that the friend was asking was, why does AARP seem to be so against early retirement? I'm not sure. I wanted to go through and read the article, but I figured I would do it with you. So this will be a live stream. We'll answer questions that pop up. It'll be a short video. I'm just going to go through maybe the talking points of this article and figure out why my friends got the impression that AARP might be against early retirement, which is weird. I don't really know what AARP is. I did a quick, internet search. So limited data says that it is a community of people that is run by a nonprofit that focuses on people over 50 who have retired. And this is where my friend was very frustrated. Uh, Over 50, retired, made $175 million in membership fees last year, made over $1 billion in royalties. So it's a pretty big organization. Let me figure out why this article made my friends so upset. So much so that they sent it to me with my very limited time that I have in retirement to look at articles. So, all right. So I open the article. First thing at the top here, we have advertisements. And pide una cotizaz. Is that Italian or Spanish or something? Interesting. It's got a membership advertisement. It's a clean looking website. Am I on the AARP website or am I in? No, I'm at aarp.org. Okay, so that's where the article takes us. So my friend, where the frustration came in, says, when you get to be around 45, you start getting advertisements or listings for AARP. It's a thing. You get old, you get retired, you can join. I haven't yet. There's a join button here. So she joined early 50s. And I believe she's frustrated because it's a marketing ploy, because almost everything that she went to use as she was enrolled kicks in when you're 63. So they got her to join at like 50, I think 50. Article. So what is it? It's retirement, 10 things no one tells you about early retirement. Okay, so I get it. Here they've focused on early retirement, not just retirement. And there is more Spanish information available for me here in Washington State, where there is no R. Like I said, I'm not going to read the whole article. I'm not going to put you through that. I'm going to go through bullet points, kind of like a Gen X will look at the first sentence and last sentence of a paragraph to figure out if we kind of agree. I'm hearing millennials and Gen Z will look at the beginning word to figure out if it goes in the same tonality as their thoughts. Starts with the number one leading cause, in my opinion, as to why people don't retire early, healthcare. Of course, they jump right on that. Healthcare is expensive. And I will say, no screaming eagle dookie. But you're paying for it when you work, exactly how you'll pay for it when you retire. Your employer is not covering your healthcare expenses. They're covering your healthcare premiums. It's part of your compensation package. So when you retire early, you have an asset for every expense. I have the travel duplex, the food duplex, the vodka fourplex, the healthcare triplex, the vehicle duplex, whatever asset you have that's going to cover the expense. Right now, your employer is covering 100% of your healthcare premium in some cases, 85, 90% in others, 50% if you have a terrible program. So people think I have to work because I need the benefits. Well, what you need is the healthcare premium to be covered by something other than you selling your life 1 hour at a time. So I don't think healthcare should be the thing that's the barrier, because most people don't realize that isn't talked about in articles like this is that Medicare that kicks in when you're old is expensive AF, especially if you made good money in those last few years before you go for it. A couple of friends of mine that live in Seattle, one of the happiest guys I think I've ever encountered. I've never seen him not smiling. Been married for a long time. Maybe marriage is not a bad thing, like I say it is. Was shocked. He retired. A year later, goes to sign up for Medicare, and it was more expensive than my healthcare is every month. So don't think that if you wait till 65, all of a sudden healthcare is free. No, it comes out of your Social Security. So 10 things they don't tell you about early retirement. Healthcare is expensive. I think plenty of people are screaming that, and it's wrong. That is not a good reason to not retire. Tapping your nest egg early can be costly. If you retire before 59 and a half, you'll usually pay 10% early withdrawal penalty from most tax deferred accounts, such as a traditional IRA or 401k. I should go to my channel since I'm sharing my screen and just look up my channel and look at how many videos I've made on how much retirement accounts suck. Yes, AARP is right. If you're stocking away money, words are hard. Can't drink all day unless you start early. If you are socking away money, I think that's the term. Start pack it in a sock and put it in a drawer, right? Oh no, now the burglars know where to look. In retirement accounts, you are putting it behind a paywall. You are saying, yes, I believe I will be poorer in the future. I believe taxes will be less in the future. I want to make the government rich with my retirement account. I want to make my employer rich because it's a retention and retainment program. And I want to make the account managers rich who run my account. So I have many videos on why retirement accounts suck. Retiring early with retirement accounts can be challenging. I'm not saying don't contribute for the match, because you would be giving up not free money, you'd be giving up your money. As a person who ran a company that made a 401k, a simple plan, retirement account with a match, it was to get people to come to work for the company and to keep people working at the company. It's a retention and recruitment tactic. So you lower the amount of pay that people are going to get and you give them a match. So if you don't take the match, you're losing part of the pay you were intended to get. You sacrifice the power of compounding interest. Earlier, I said no screaming eagle dookie. Now I'm going to say bull dookie. The point, I retired on stocks. Geez, words are hard today. I retired without any stocks. I retired by investing in real estate. I apologize for the slip. I was thinking of a video channel on YouTube that I watch often by a guy who retired using stocks, Joe Kuhn, Kuhn. If you invest in stocks, you should check him out. He retired at 54. He's been retired for like 6 years now. He's got a great buckets method to plan for things like a recession. He goes into more detail than the 4% rule and how sometimes that can be a bad thing to use. But the idea with the 4% rule, from my non-stock investing words, which you should not trust, go to somebody like Joe who knows what they're talking about, is historically the stock market returns around 10% over a long enough period of time. So you have 4%. Because of compound interest, you get that 10% return. You take your 4% out that you live on, 3% to cover normal inflation, and money left over to cover the taxes of the money that you take out. So even if you retire early using the 4% rule, you are accounting for compound interest. You're counting on compound interest. So I don't think I agree with that one, even though I didn't read the paragraphs. I'm just reading the thing. So let me quickly browse through. It's time for your friend's savings or retirement. You cannot save your way to retirement. You have to invest it. But not when you are spending. If you they use the word sock. If you sock away 250, it's a thing. I knew it was a thing. $250 a month, $3,000 a year from age 25, you'll have $237,000 when you retire, which will last about 3 months in 30 years from now. So that is a terrible way to do it. If you work 10 more years, they're trying to talk you into working longer. Maybe it's because the benefits of AARP don't really kick in until 63. At least that was what my friend told me, even though you could sign up at 50. Okay. So they want you to work 10 more years to have more money, but you lose 10 of your healthy active years. In the dictionary under stupid, it says look up redundant, where it says see redundant. 4, you may have a long, long life ahead of you. I hope so. I mean, the goal is you don't want to run out of money before you run out of life. So invest in something that benefits from time, like a stock portfolio, like a real estate portfolio that has debt paid off over time and experiences inflation-based debt destruction, where you get levered appreciation, levered depreciation, like all these benefits where time helps you. Yes, you're going to have a longer retirement the earlier you retire. And you can always fall into, and this is a Joe Kuhn quote, at least that's where I heard it first. It will always mathematically make sense to work one more year. Don't get trapped in one more year-itis. That's why I talk about Joe so much, as he kind of helped me retire at 52 instead of waiting, because I started making good money at the end. Would have made more sense to keep working. Have more money, your retirement account or your portfolio pays for less of your life because your job does. And it's always going to make sense. But how much of your life are you losing? You only have so many go years. You only have so many go slow years. And none of us are really going to enjoy the no-go years. You'll spend more money than you think. I tried to say that with a straight face. You'll spend more money than you think. Yeah, I did it, pulled it off. The typical rule of thumb is that you'll spend about 80% as much in retirement as when you do work. It's a rule of thumb. So remember, statistics mean nothing when an event occurs to you. You are no longer saving for retirement. You are no longer paying employment taxes. You are now paying capital gains tax, passive income tax. You now have write-offs, depreciation. Yeah, so a lot of things go down. Healthcare, you're now covering the whole premium. Right? It's not like you have to pay for all of a sudden more healthcare than you did when you were working. It's not like your employer was going to cut a check if you had a major health concern. They're just paying the premium for you. Insurance will take care of things. You have the same or better insurance in retirement. But will you spend more money than you think? I am struggling figuring out how to spend money. So the average person, I think, that works till 65 and lives on credit and has horrible spending and just puts money into a retirement account and lives on Social Security and whatever's in their 401k, it's probably not going to be enough. So a lot of retired people complain about you spend more money than you think. I think that would make sense. The discipline, the focus, the time, energy, and effort that it takes to retire early, to make money so you can put money to work so you don't have to work, is a different breed of people. The earlier you are able to retire correctly, right? The assets that benefit from inflation, assets that benefit with time. So you retire. It's a hard switch to flip. I've had to create what are called reverse budgets for me. Like I make sure I'm not getting text that my sound is not working. I have reverse budgets. I didn't want to retire to be frugal, so I had to come up with I have a vehicle duplex that produces now about $2,400 a month. I'm setting aside. That's to buy the next vehicle. When I buy the next vehicle, that money, I don't want to save money. It'll be an all cash purchase, but the asset will pay for it. So I'm not going to go out and buy the cheapest. I'm going to buy the most logical vehicle, right? It has the safety features I'm looking at, the towing capacity I'm looking for, the comfort I want, right? So I'm not really going to be looking at price tag as much as I am all of these other things that I want. I require I don't have a limit. I require myself to spend at least $2,000 a month eating out. I raised 3 picky kids. Yes, it's probably more healthy to eat at home. But I took an oath when my youngest kid turned 18 and moved out. I will never cook again. Barbecuing doesn't count because you could drink while you barbecue. I know you can drink while you're cooking too, but I don't have a drinking problem. Housing expenses don't retire when you do. I actually agree with that one. It's expensive. Your house is expensive. Retiring without a mortgage is a common goal for. Let me start over. They had me with the title. They lost me with the first sentence. Retiring without a mortgage is a common goal for would-be retirees, but it's a goal that many fail to meet. Probably true. Probably a true statement. Breaks my brain because the last thing I want is to pay off my primary residence. One of the things that allowed me to retire early is 30-year fixed rate debt. The lowest down payment and best interest rate you can get is on the one where you live. Why would you want to pay that one off? I have a paid off rental. I'm house hacking a duplex. I'm probably going to add a mortgage to it because I can get the best interest rate on this property. I don't want it paid off. Puts it at risk. I don't have any asset protection if there's no debt on it. Those are my 2 properties that I'm most worried about because they don't have the asset protection. This is the 6 properties that have mortgages. I'm only gaining appreciation on my money and I'm not experiencing depreciation on the bank's money, only mine. Like there's all these negatives to having a paid off property. But the average person doesn't invest in real estate, you invest in stocks. And I think there's a level of comfort that comes from knowing you have a paid off property. I would prefer to pay off a rental than my own house. But yeah, your expenses can dictate when you can retire. That's why geo arbitrage is such a good thing. People can move to another country or to a lower cost of living area and be able to retire sooner. Extra income can be hard to come by. My Only Homes account says that's wrong. Yeah, extra income is, I don't agree with that one. It's easy to get extra income. I think it would be challenging to get the same income. All right. I was demoted all the way down to president of the CDL school that I was working at. And so I had a better income at the end than I started working there at $17 an hour. I ended working there making six figures. So if I went out and got a job right now, driving job, I'd make six figures. But if I went to work at another CDL school, I wouldn't start at the income. I wouldn't expect to start at the income that I left at. But side hustle money. How many people right now can make a YouTube channel that can grow a social media, 4 or 5 thousand friends on Facebook, get an Amazon Associates link and start talking about the things that you use and watch how you can actually make extra money without having a job. As much as I scuba, I should probably go for one more certificate and start doing scuba instruction. You could turn almost anything into money. But do you need extra money when you retire early? It's the person who socked, it's a word we found out, it's even in this article, socked money away in a retirement account, is planning on the join button on AARP stays all the way down. That's pretty cool. How do I put that on my website? Squirrel. How do we get people to understand that retiring early means you put your money to work so that you don't need to? You don't need the extra income. If you need extra income, you shouldn't be retiring early. Maybe that was a better way to phrase that. Working in retirement may not be as simple as you think. Well, 70% of workers plan to work or pay for pay in retirement. 70% plan to work for pay in retirement. Hang on, wait. Every time somebody says you make a little bit of money on YouTube, you're not retired. Can you make money and be retired? Somebody clarify that for me. 5 questions to ask and answer for the retirement. Oh, this is like a bullet point thing. Can I really afford to stop working? Good question. Do I need to get a part-time job to make ends meet? All right, that's not retired. How will I get health insurance? Right. You pay for the premium instead of your employer paying. What will I do to occupy my time? A joke, quote unquote. Retire to something, not from something. How will you occupy your time? The saddest thing I can imagine is some goober saying, I don't know what I would do with my time if I didn't have a job. Your job is not filling your time. Your job is killing your time. How sad a world do you live in if you can look at this entire planet we live in, where there's half a foot of snow on the ground outside, where I'm actually going to go paddleboard in some snow today. And you can think, I don't know what I would do if I didn't have to lock myself in an office for 8 hours a day and commute to that. All right, I'm going to get off that platform. Are my plans in sync with my spouse or partners? Thank you for pluralizing that with me. Okay. All right. So that's me. That's not you. Yes. The challenges of retirement or early retirement with a spouse are there. I'll wrap up the video with some experience of running a CDL school on the nightmare marriages that I've encountered. Not even mine. There's a lot of time to kill. What the? Let me read this. There's a lot of time to kill. When you retire, that hurts my brain. When you retire, you have a 40-hour gap in your week plus your commute that you will need to fill. Are you sure you have enough activities to keep your body, mind, and spirit? I am disappointment in my grammar. Are you sure you have enough activities to keep your body, mind, and spirituality occupied for many years as you have ahead of you? Asked Catherine Balega, a certified financial planner in Winchester, Massachusetts. I'm wearing a Winchester jacket. Call my psychic brother and find out what weirdness that means. I don't understand that entire paragraph. There's a lot of time to kill. Yes, there is. And there's so many more things than you can imagine to do that the last thing you need is a job to kill your time. They use my word. That's hilarious. How much time do you realistically see yourself spending going on long walks, lounging? All of the times. All of the times is meant to relax. Sometimes relaxing is going and help somebody paint the inside of their place, or what I put a roof on your brother's shed at his rental, or whatever it's going to be. Doesn't have to be compensated. If you have to be compensated to be somewhere, it's not your passion or your purpose. It's what you settled for. Don't see me be getting an AARP sponsorship anytime soon. You may need to make new friends. Okay, I like the way they put that. You may need to make new friends. It doesn't say you have to get rid of your old friends. Right. I think it's number 7 in the one rental at a time rules. Audit your network. Audit your network make sure you're adding new people, right? If it wasn't for investing, I would have never met Frank and Cynthia. I never would have met Millennial Mike. I never would have met Matt and Ashley. Like, there's all these people that I'm interacting with because of investing, because I'm reaching financial freedom. Kris, when we go paddleboarding, I don't think I would know you. If yeah, if I was still working, I never would have met you. So you make new friends in early retirement, especially when a lot of your friends are working. And that's probably what they say. If you retire in your 50s, maybe your friends aren't around much. Exactly. They still have full-time jobs when you have the luxury of catching a matinee or playing a matinee. I used to go to so many movies when I worked. Since I've retired, I watched Deadpool and Wolverine in the theater. Yeah. Um, that was my IMDb reaction. Gladiator 2. That was not terrible. Yeah, no. Now it's like 1 or 2 a year. It used to be 1 a week when I worked. Imagine the time wasted. I still watch movies, but it's at home when I'm working out or something. Let me see. You find new friends, they're likely to be older, says Deb. Are my friends older? Millennial Mike's 20 years younger than me. Matt points out every freaking video I'm older than him. I'm older than Zuber. Yeah, my friends are younger than me. I have older friends. Oh, Connie and Dana, they're older, I think. Frank's a couple years older. Yeah. No, I don't agree with that. I guess it depends on what you do in retirement, right? Is shuffleboard a thing? Do people do that? Then you're probably going to meet older people. Bingo. If you play bingo, my mom played bingo. It's all older people that all inappropriately flirted with the 12-year-old. Explain some of my fetishes, though. 10. Retirement can be tough on couples. There you go. Retirement is a major life transition. If you have And you have to be patient with yourself and your spouse. Patience is very important in relationships. That's why all of mine ended. I patiently waited for them to get out. Okay. So here's the working at the CDL school. I as a Marine Corps veteran, I focused a lot on, not solely, but a lot on veterans, helping them come out of the military. My nonprofit was founded in getting people non-driving jobs in HR, IT, operations management, whatever. So I'd be helping military spouses and military members as they get out of the military finding jobs, or I'd go to prisons and help people in colleges too. So I wasn't just focused on military, but I encountered this over and over and over with people that came. I think that was the 10, and now it's probably just more ads. What ads do I get? I recognize Taylor Swift, bank, airline miles. I don't do any of that. It's a big word. Unconscionable and evil hospice fraud earns exec 20 years in prison. Nice. The ultimate house hack. All right, let me end this. Okay. So I would have couples come in. I want to say at a minimum once a month, but almost every week, almost on a weekly basis for 13 years. I encountered a service member that would come in and go, I am retiring from the military, and often, like me, they were in the infantry, right? I was a 0352, so it's mechanized infantry, but still blow stuff up. That was my job. Not too many jobs doing that. There's one avalanche control guy here in the state. So when you get out, it's law enforcement, it's truck driving, it's some non skills based jobs, I guess, that are available to people who work in the infantry. I'm close to JBLM, one of the largest army bases on the West Coast, big infantry units called Rangers that tell everybody, I'm a Ranger. They're not a Ranger. They're in the unit called a Ranger. Marine Corps Army thing. The couple would come in and sit down and say, he needs to, and it was usually, that was the gender breakdown. Both of them were saying that he needs a job where they're gone all the time. So The reason my CDL school grew so much is I focused on local jobs. Our actual company tagline went from something like committed to your career when I started there. We switched it later to be home every night. It's one of the ideas that helped me grow the company because most people don't want to drive over the road and be a 350-pound Swift driver that sits in their truck for 7 days a week. They want that local Old Dominion, Oak Harbor Freight Lines, McLean driver where you're in and out of the truck a little bit. You stay a little bit more physically fit. You make six figures a year and you're home every night. That was my thing. But I'd get these military members that come in and go, we've been married 20 something years because that's how long they've been in the military. Right. It was a service member and what you call a dependopotamus. That's a Marine Corps term. And they would go. So they've been in the field most of the time. They've been on duty. They've been deployed. They've been at different duty stations. So we've only had a limited amount of time together. And now that they're out of the military, we're going to murk each other. So they would come into a CDL school and say, I know you guys focus on local jobs, but I want to go to work for Werner or Schneider or Swift or CR England. Those are the last two we wouldn't let on the property of the school. But so they can be gone all the time to make the marriage last. So when you retire, when you pull that, I don't work anymore cord, make sure you're with a spouse you actually want to spend time with. And if you're not, why the frick are you married in the first place? Anyway, this was me looking at this AARP article. I don't know that I agreed with most of it or any of it, but I did know that my friend was frustrated and she said, so here's it's aarp.org. There's their free advertisement for the channel that they're never going to sponsor after this video. But she was frustrated because you can sign up at 50. And most of the benefits that they talked about in their advertisements were available to you at 63. So let me know in the comments below. I will look at all of the chat after this video is over. And if you want your questions answered during a live stream every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Pacific, I do a video that lasts as long as the questions do. I hope to see you there. I even answer the rude questions. After looking at this article and seeing my reaction to it, after retiring at 52 and being retired for now 2.5 years, are you going to retire early? Or do you think that AARP's warning that life can be amazing, so you better avoid that, was enough for you not to want to retire early? Have a day full of awesome.